So we're in principle number 3. Pretty much we said the other day, where is God? God is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Really, God does everything through Hashgacha Klali. What does Hashgacha Klali mean? He supervises. A supervisor sees everything, and I'm going to tell you soon in the relationship with the soul what this means. A supervisor sees everything, but he's not necessarily in every single room, right? And therefore we said that the Pasuk says, Melo kol haaretz kevodo. Hashem fills the entire world with his honor. We said, what does it mean with his honor? It really depends on your recognition of God, right? Your fear of God, your honor of God represents of the fact that you know about God. And therefore, if you don't know about God, then he's not there. Because it's as if someone important came into a room, but you have no idea who they are. So you're going to still keep on behaving like a little kid. But then when you know there's someone important, now you have a choice. You behave in such an amazing way because you're like, wait, Raquel is in the room, right? Not that anyone honors me and behaves differently, but in case you were, right? And therefore we said, that's what it means, the honor of God. Now, when you honor someone, you don't necessarily need them to be there in order to affect your behavior. But rather, just the fact that you know that they know that you're there, or the fact that you know that they're going to see you, completely affects you, completely changes you. And therefore, that's what we said, that really means where God is. Where is God? Wherever you call his name. What does it mean you call his name? You recognize him, you bring him in, he's there because your whole entire life just changes because you're aware of God. This is why we said Abraham introduced this concept into our world. We said that Abraham was known for saying blessings. What are blessings? Do God needs me to bless him? So we said blessings are influences that cause success. In what way can I make God be successful? And we said, and now we're going to move from there, even though God is everywhere, godliness is not. God is good. Godliness is how much of God you feel. You understand? How much of God you're aware of. Some places have no godliness, right? Because God awareness is not something that he makes happen, it's something that you make happen. And therefore, when you're saying a blessing, you're saying, wait a minute, this is not, it came from God. And you're making the whole world be much more aware of God, right? And that's exactly what changes. And therefore, where is God? Where is God not? God is everywhere and nowhere. It depends on how much you want God to be there. This is why we said, whenever we talk about developing fear of God, in the Torah, we always call it Irat Shamayim, right? Let me explain this to you, because what I'm going to say is very important. Irat Shamayim. What does Irat Shamayim means? It means fear of heaven, yes? But now, in Judaism, there is another concept, which again is the same, but there's different implications, that is called Irat Hashem, okay? Irat Hashem means fear of God, okay? Now, when we talk about what's the highest level of fear to develop, we don't say fear of God, we say fear of heaven. Everyone ever notice this? So how do we understand this? What is the difference? So you actually understand this from the Torah. Everyone remembers the 10 plagues? Let's go back to it. The 7th plague, was it the 7th? Dam, Tzfardea, Kinim, Arov, Dever, Shchim, Barat. Yeah, the 7th plague called Hail, okay? We know that each one of the plagues, Moshe, said for 3 weeks, this plague is going to happen, this plague is going to happen, and then the plague happened for 1 week, okay? So this is pretty much the story. So by the 7th plague, okay, Moshe says like this, behold, a plague of hail is going to come your way, and whatever is going to be outside will be completely destroyed. So if you're smart, what do you need to do? Put everything that you own inside your house, because whatever is outside is going to be destroyed by the plague, okay? Amazing. So now, before I tell you what happens, okay? When you see this, you're not about being smart or being dumb. You're pretty much like, how many plagues already happened? 6. Did they happen exactly as Moshe said? Yes. Would you take a chance on the 7th plague? No, it's not about being smart or being stupid. You know, it's not about being smart. It's about how stupid could you be? You should never take a chance. Like, okay, the plague did not happen, but the probability is it will happen, right? So the Torah says, Moshe said to everyone, and everyone could look for this. This is in Parashah, right? Vayera. And it says, and Moshe said to everyone, God is going to bring the plague. If you're smart, bring all of your stuff inside. So then the Torah says, and those that fear God, right, brought their stuff outside. But those that did not fear God kept their stuff outside, and everything died or was destroyed. And you're like, it's not about fearing God. Like, by the way, this is the idea I uses. I would have said, and those that are stupid, but fine. It says those that didn't fear God. And I'm like, again, it's not about if you fear God or not. Moshe prophesies. It happened 6 out of 6 with perfect description. You know how perfect description? You could see this in the Torah. The 10th plague was dying of the firstborn. When were they going to die? At midnight. You know, if you ever look in the Torah, Moshe said around midnight. He didn't say at midnight. Because maybe Paro's watch is 1 minute, behind. So if he says, it didn't happen at midnight, they said it with precision. So no one would be able to say there was a mistake. And you're like, wait, who would be this stupid? And then listen to his part. The Torah tells you, who was the one that did not fear God? And the answer is shocking. This guy called Balaam. Anyone remembers Balaam? The one that cursed Israel. Now, let me tell you a tiny bit about Balaam so you understand how this doesn't make sense. The Torah says that in the Jewish people, who was the greatest prophet that ever existed? Moshe. And like Moshe, there was no one else except for the non-Jews. They had someone in the level of Moshe, and we'll talk about this when we get to prophecy. Balaam. Balaam, in the level of prophecy, was equal to Moshe Rabbeinu, even though he was wicked. So now wait, doesn't prophecy means I'm talking to God? You hear this? Balaam was the only person in the world that existed, that he was in the same exact level of prophecy with Moshe. And he's the one that when the plague fell, he's the only one that didn't bring his stuff inside. How could you be talking to God and at the same time totally deny? It doesn't make sense, right? By the way, it does make sense because most of us are like this. I always say people believe in God but behave like atheists, but whatever. But how could it be? We're talking about prophecy. It's not like any religious experience you've ever had in your life. When you have prophecy, you know. How do you know? Because you just do. Like when you're going to find your husband and they're like, but how do you know? I know. And then people tell you, but how do I know it's going to be the one? You'll just know. Really? You don't just know, okay? Get guidance so you don't just know because he's cute and has money, okay? I mean, cute and money are very important things, but there are other things that are important too. So get guidance and don't just fall for that, I know, okay? But the point is, what happened to Balaam? So in order to understand this, we need to go to another parasha where it speaks about Balaam. And now you're going to get this better. What do we know about Balaam? There was this king called Balak. Balak wanted Balaam to go and curse the Jewish people. So he sends all of these messengers, right? And the messengers say to Balaam, come, we're going to pay you lots of money. So what does Balaam says? Wait, I'm going to talk to God at night. He wasn't as big as Moshe in this sense. He needed to go to sleep. Whatever God says, I'm going to do. So God says, don't go, because they're my people. You think you're going to curse them? So Balaam says, sorry, my God says I cannot go with you. Rashi says, with you means you're too lowly. Like with you, I cannot go. Not like, oh, God, no. So the people said, oh, maybe we didn't bring enough money. They go back, they come up with all of this money. So Balaam says, fine, I'm going to ask again. He goes to sleep, and what does God says? Really, you shouldn't go, but do whatever you want. Look, if I'm going to tell you no and you want to go anyways, just go. Okay. So by the way, we see this from Balaam. He knew God. He speaks to God. But at the end of the day, whatever I want. So Balaam is going in his little donkey. And the Torah tells you an amazing thing. God sent an angel in order to try to stop Balaam. Because even when you're wicked, God will still give you a chance to repent. And the donkey was able to see the angel, and no one else was able to see the angel. So when the donkey sees the angel, it it hits Balaam. Balaam gets angry and starts hitting the donkey. Poor donkey, he keeps on going, right? And then what happened? I'm going to give this an idea to you in 1 second. The Torah says that Balaam was actually married to this donkey. What does that mean? So I'm going to explain this to you in a second. She's looking at me like this is weird. But you should just know there are creepy people in this world. You should just know, sometimes, when you don't want to see these things, but they appear in your Facebook, you're like, why Hashem? Why? I think that's a message. Just let go of your Facebook. Maybe I should. But then I wouldn't be in touch with you. But then maybe you would be forced to be in touch with me the real way. Like email. You've got mail. One day you're not going to see me in person. What do you think? This is going to be forever? No. I'm going to fly to your wedding. Everything will be good. Okay. This is the deal. You pay for me to come to your wedding? I come. You see, I'm such a nice person. Okay, moving on. But the thing is, right? So the donkey sees the angel again. And again the donkey hits Balaam. So Balaam gets mad again, hits the donkey. Third time, right? The donkey keeps on walking, sees the angel again, and hits Balaam, and now Balaam gets mad. And now the Torah even says, what does this mean? I'll tell you in a second, that the donkey ended on top of Balaam. Whatever that means, the donkey was riding Balaam. And suddenly Balaam was hitting him, whatever. So what does the donkey says? God opens up his mouth and he says, aren't I your faithful donkey? I've been married to you for all of this time. Did I ever cheat? Did I ever went off the derech? Did I ever did this? Why are you hitting me now? Shouldn't you be wondering what's going on? Now, it is not just that the donkey was like, don't you love me? No. The donkey is saying something for real. Wait, did this ever happen? No. So what should you be thinking? There must be something going on. Yes or no? Yes. Because if this never happened, it's not that I'm drunk. I never got drunk in my life. There must be something that's going on. You know what the Torah says? It is not that Balaam did not believe in God. Huge. Is that he didn't pay attention. He just kept on going all of his life. And therefore, he never stopped to pay attention about anything that was going on. In the Torah, wherever you have a parasha, there is all of these ways that the Torah is written. Lots of these things, it's called like there's spaces between the letters, between the parashiot. If you ever open up a Chumash, you're going to see this. There's like suddenly like a big white space. It's called spaces. The parasha that talks about Balaam never has spaces. The Torah says why? It says the Chafetz Chaim, because Balaam never stopped in his life. He just kept on going all of the time. And therefore, he was aware, but his awareness did not change anything because he never stopped to pay attention to his life. It is not that he didn't believe in God, but when Moshe was talking about the plague, he didn't stop and say, wait, what does this mean about me? Wait, how is this affecting my life? He just kept on going. And like at the end of the day, all of his stuff died, right? So now, I'm going to get to this in a second. But that was Balaam. This is why, by the way, he was married to his donkey. Now, in the Torah, the relationship between your soul and your body, it's like a donkey and a human being, or a donkey and a soul, right? The donkey is the most materialistic animal, right? It's just taken by instinct. It's like stupid, like the body is just eating this, that. And then you have your soul. Usually, your soul should be riding your donkey. But Balaam was married to his donkey, meaning all of his life was about his donkey, his body. Wait, God said to you, don't go. Oh, but they're giving me money. But God just said to you, don't go. When you have prophecy, you know. You understand? You really, oh, I want money. Oh, I want this. Oh, I want that. And then the donkey ended up on top of him. What is the Torah telling you? You know why you're making mistakes in life? Because you're allowing your donkey to ride you. But you know what the thing? He was on top of the donkey first. But he really allowed the donkey to ride him in his life, and this is why he made so many mistakes. He's teaching you something huge about human personality. We know, but we totally choose to not know on purpose, so we could do whatever we want. This is how it goes. As I always say, lots of people believe in God, but they behave like atheists. You know, right? You know about God's existence, but you pretend he's not there. Why do you pretend he's not there? So then you could do whatever you want. This is why the Torah says that what did Balaam did not have? He didn't have Irat Hashem. They didn't call it Irat Shamayim. They call it Irat Hashem. Fear of God depends on your awareness that God is there. Is God always proving that he's there? No, almost never. So when someone doesn't want to believe in God, you know what they say? Wait, if there's a God, why doesn't he do this? Is this not what people say? If there's a God, why doesn't he make a miracle? Oh, wait, isn't God almighty? Why is he not like, making trees grow in 5 seconds, or like the leaves don't say, Nicole, do chihuahua? You understand? This is what people say all of the time. If there is a God, shouldn't he be not doing the hogah? Shouldn't he be not be doing this? They use the whole idea about, oh, wait, I believe in God, but if God would exist, or if God was God, shouldn't he be doing this? Shouldn't he be doing this? Shouldn't he be doing this? They don't have, or they have Irat Hashem, which means I'm only going to believe and follow God as long as I 100% see God. But you know what happens? That's completely dependent on God all of the time breaking the rules of the world. Because if your fear of God depends on how much you see God, you're going to live a life that it's always constantly needing miracles and needing rules being broken so that you're aware that God exists. You hear this? This is how lots of people live their life. If God wants me to believe in him, he should show himself. But now we said that God does not run the world through miracles. First of all, miracles are totally subjective, right? For someone, something could be a miracle. For someone, that's not a miracle. Like for someone that grew up in the desert, man falling, it's totally normal. And coming into the earth and looking at trees, that's like, whoa, right? And the opposite is also true. But second of all, if God would constantly be making himself aware, then where would be my free will? I wouldn't have free will. You understand? I would just always be doing this. So now, what are we saying? Some people only have Irat Hashem. Even though it's the same. Again, this is what it entails. Irat Hashem means I'm only going to believe in you as long as you showed yourself to me, right? The manager has to come to my office so that I notice or I behave well. Because if the manager doesn't come, how do I know that he's really watching my video? Now, even if the manager doesn't come, you know he has access to your video and he could see it whenever you want. Yes or no? Whenever he wants. But what do you say to yourself? If he didn't come, it's because he didn't saw my video. What about maybe he didn't come because he's trying to see if you're going to keep on repeating the same mistake over and over again, or he didn't come because of whatever. But what do you say to yourself? Oh, the manager didn't come, it's because he didn't saw my video. So I could just do whatever I want in my life. You know, lots of people do this, by the way. You have like people that grow up religious, and one time they say they're going to eat something non-kosher. And what do you think? If I'm going to eat something non-kosher, I should get like electroshock from heaven? This is what people say, like totally get killed on the spot. So what happens when you don't get killed on the spot? You're like, wait, God doesn't exist. By the way, you know who did this? Chava. She touched a tree, she didn't die. Right? You could see this all the time. But wait, you know that Chava and Adam spoke directly to God? So how could you be touching the tree and say God doesn't exist? Oh, God, you just didn't notice this. Fine, Adam, you want to eat this? But wait, 10 minutes ago you were talking to God. Because if God is not there, or I don't see him as being there and he's not proving himself, I could do whatever I want. But wait, God is there. It is just that my awareness of him is not there because I am choosing to not be aware of him. You understand? But the highest level you should get to is not called Irat Hashem, it's called Irat Shamayim. Do I need to be aware that there's heaven in order to know that there's heaven? Nah, you see, that's the difference. Does the heaven need to make noise or has lightning and thunder for me to know there's heaven? No, I know that as long as I exist, wherever I walk, there is heaven. The heaven doesn't need to be yelling, hi, I'm here, in order for you to know this. Your awareness of God should be Irat Shamayim. If, when you look at the world, the thing that you think of that is the most infinite, and we spoke about this, right? You remember the prominence of something in nature is directly parallel to the lesson he wants to teach you? Remember this? If whenever you think about the world, the thing that is the most is the heaven. And this is like the most unlimited. And this is just a creation of God. How much more would God be there? Do you need to be constantly, does the heaven need to prove itself that it exists in order for you to believe there's heaven? No, that's exactly a thing. Just as heaven exists, God is there all of the time. And I'll tell you this from the Torah. But what happens, right? It's just you expect God all of the time to be showing him, and he's not going to do this. Irat Shamayim means I understand that whether God makes himself apparent or not, or whether God, whatever, my knowledge of God shouldn't depend on anything. Because just as the world doesn't exist without heaven, or without anything anyways, right? All of these things are being made by God. And that's, by the way, why the Torah doesn't tell you how Abraham came to believe in God. It's obvious. If you have electricity, there needs to be a source of electricity. If you have the world, there needs to be a source of the world. Do I need the source of the world to let me know? Do I need to know where all of the, business, you know what I'm talking about? When the electricity shuts, then you have like things. You know what I'm talking about, huh? Not the switches, whatever. Yes, but there's like switches, but then whatever, it doesn't matter. Okay? Do I need to know they're there? No, but obviously they're there. You know when you need to go find them? When the light goes off, then you suddenly go like, oh wait, there's switches. It must be the light went off because the switches were off, but the switches were always there. That's what we all of us do. When God does it as I'm not here, and the light is off, the Holocaust, then everyone starts, oh, where was God in the Holocaust? Oh, before the Holocaust, did you wonder where was God? You ever notice this? Huh? Does anyone goes like, oh, is there a God? I believe in God? No, until the Holocaust happened. And then everyone is, oh, where was God in the Holocaust? Why didn't you ask the question before? You ever notice this? It's so interesting. Why don't you ever ask or want to get to know God until you don't see God, and then suddenly you want to get to know God? The whole point of where was God in the Holocaust means you believe in God. If not, you wouldn't be saying where was God in the Holocaust. Because if God was never there, why should he be in the Holocaust anyways? Like Makara, he just decided to make an appearance in like the Holocaust and he wasn't there before. You see this? The same question people use in order to say there is no God is the same question that it's saying there is God. But people use it in order to cancel God because that's the way we behave. Yeah? Yes?
When you say heaven, what does that mean?
Exactly. That means just as everywhere you look, there's heaven.
Right, like you mean like the sky?
Yeah. It means just everything that's above you. There's heaven. This is unlimited. This is just everywhere. That's the same thing. And therefore, what are we saying? God wants you to develop Irat Shammai. Irat Shammai means I do not need God to constantly be like, what's up? I'm here. No, I am here. It's not something that I'm not. It's just, this is a fact. This is a statement. I am here. You understand? I don't need to tell you I am here in order for you to notice I'm here. I'm just here. But if you want to pretend I'm not here, because I'm now in a building, it means there's no heaven. The heaven is above the building. No, because I cannot see the heaven doesn't mean the heaven is not there. But that's what we do with God. You understand? With God, it's either if I see you, you're there. If I don't see you, I'm not there.